So a question that comes up all the time is, what car should I go for entry level into the classic movement? It's a little bit of a tricky one because we're all a bit different, aren't we? We all like something different. My standard reply to that, historically, has always been MGB, of which there's one over there, because you cannot fall off with an MGB. They are so forgiving. If budget allows, tweak that up to an RV8. These are really good value for money. Really good. They were 20+ thousand pounds for years, and then with the latest sort of realignment with prices within the industry, they have now settled more like 14-15 thousand pounds. I know 14-15 thousand pounds is a lot of money, but that is a lot of car for that sort of money. So I think these are fantastic. Obviously V8 underneath there. Predominantly most of them went to Japan. Most of them were in green. So if you don't mind green, obviously it's not an issue with them coming back from Japan, because lots of them have now. Speedometer's been changed from kilometers, should I say, to miles. So I think they're a great car. They really are. That's if you don't want an MGB. So MGB, super forgiving little car. So there's an MGB, again, they are just so user-friendly. And the GT version, obviously that's the Roadster with the hardtop over there, but the GT version is such good value for money. I wouldn't go too cheap. I wouldn't go 2,000. I'd go 3,000 or 4,000 because you will get such a better car. But in today's world, that figure of 3,000 or 4,000 pounds, it's not actually a lot of money, is it? We were walking around Curry's the other night, got a new TV for the house, and you can spend that on the television set. So, you know, I'm not suggesting you do, but you can. So, yeah, that entry-level car like that I think is great. There's a few new ones that have come in, obviously, for the next sale. We've just started, so today's Monday, so today is the start of all the new cars coming in for our March sale. So that's where we are so far with completely new entries. The little Midget is another contender. I just find those a little small. You've got to be fairly flexible for a little Midget. But again, as the word suggests, just a smaller version of an MGB. Good value. Again, great value little cars. Minis. Oh, Mick, yeah. Minis there again. Another little Midget. Good value. Minis. There's always someone for a Mini. We must have, oh gosh, we must have 10 or a dozen Minis in just about every sale. And we sell most of them. So again, entry-level cars, great fun little Minis. Everyone can relate to a Mini, can't they? You know, so they're a good little buy. The top and bottom of it is you don't really need to start putting any more than £4,000 or £5,000, and even less than that. There are some cars out there, £2,000 or £3,000 gets you into something quite tidy, but £3,000 or £4,000, if you shop about and get the right thing, is about all you need for a nice little classic car. And let's not forget, I tend to overlook some because they still feel fairly modern to me, but BMWs, there's a BMW 3 Series behind you there. They're slipping into the classic bracket now. Even there's a couple of Porsche Boxsters that are arrived today. Even Porsche Boxsters are slipping into the modern classic bracket. So it depends what you define as classic, really. But if you want something 60s, 70s with a bit of chrome on, then £3,000 or £4,000 gets you into something like that. Or if you want something a modern classic, like a little BMW or a Nissan of some description, a Toyota, Mazda MR2, that type of thing, which are so user-friendly again, then just that little bit more, just tweak it up to maybe £7,000 or £8,000 gets you a hell of a lovely car. And if you buy, my also advice is buy as good a car as you can afford. Don't think that you're going to save yourself any money by not spending your budget. By that I mean, if you've got a budget of £5,000, my suggestion is you spend it all and you get, within reason, so most of it, and get as nice a car as you can for the money. Because to turn a £3,000 car into a £5,000 car will cost you an extra £5,000 or £6,000. So let someone else do the work, as the Bangers and Cash team are experiencing, aren't they, with some of the projects that they've taken on. Let someone else do the work and then step in afterwards. Do not buy a project thinking you've saved yourself some money, because I guarantee you, you will not save yourself any money. So just buy as nice a car as you can for the budget that you've got. And then you shouldn't go far wrong, really. And try and stick with something fairly mainstream that you can get parts for, and you'll be quite surprised you can get parts for lots of things. And my next bit of advice is to join the club. There is a club for everything. Even the most weird and wonderful thing, there is a club. So my next piece of advice would be to join the club. The clubs are all very enthusiastic. They're full of like-minded people, obviously. But most importantly, they've got the knowledge and the know-how, and they know where you can get the parts from. So, and if you're a member as well, you get reductions in most insurance policies. So join the club. And then briefly, we weren't really talking about insurance today, but on that subject about sort of getting into the movement, don't run away with the idea that insurance is expensive, because it's not. So as long as you've been a good boy or a good girl and you're mid-20s, you'll be surprised what you can get cover for like £100–150 a year. You know, again, going back to MGBs, you know, there's no reason why you would need any more than £150, 200 tops, to get insurance from someone like Peter Best for your MGB. So not expensive at all. Once you've bought the car, if you buy the right car, once you've got that initial car, that's your big outlay, obviously your purchase. Once you've got the car, the rest of it, in actual fact, if you buy the right thing, is quite straightforward and enjoyable. And I think you will have some fun with it and get yourself out and about. There's loads of shows on. Morgan's Diary is a fantastic publication for us in the north. It lists all the events on a weekend, so you can scroll through, see what's on, and get out and about. I think more often than not now, there's these cafes that are springing up, isn't there, which are sort of car-linked, you know, car-themed cafes where you can go for a meeting days, meet and greets and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, it's a good movement, and not necessarily out of reach. You know, it's not quite as expensive as people think. So, just get the right car. That's the top of it. Just do your homework and just pick the right car. And if you start off with the right car, the rest of it will just flow nicely.